What were some of the things that you really wanted to emphasize coming in to build on what they had done previously?
Well, as you mentioned, there hasn't been any shortage of blocked punts around here. So, we've been fortunate to get a couple returns. Our guys are playing really hard, and sometimes there's a little bit of luck involved if you get a favorable kick to return and you have a chance to get an explosive.
Front row right, Austin from Letterman Row.
Matt, when you look over the years, it's always been a way to earn playing time is to be on special teams. But you've got like Chase Young out there blocking field goals. It seems like people really want to be part of it. How does that work? That you have one of the best defensive players in the country wanting to help on special teams?
Well, that's a rule that goes back to Coach Meyer that Coach Day has upheld. Is the best players play. Our starters have to play on special teams before they can play on offense or defense. And again, that just speaks to the culture here that we have established, and those guys want to be on it. Chase Young is in my ear almost every day about what he wants to do on field goal block, and Tough Borland's in my ear every day about what he wants to do on punt and things like that. So I just think that speaks to the culture that's been established here.
And I asked Coach Day about this a week or two ago, but if you have Duan at 6'8", I'm sure you would want to use him every single week. Are you fighting to have him play all year, or do you have to pick and choose your spots?
Well, it just depends on what you're getting. There's a little bit more to field goal block than what meets the eye. A lot of it is how much lift the kicker gets on the ball, and if it's a kicker that doesn't get much lift on it, then you think you can get it with a longer guy. So that's where Duan fit in the Cincinnati game plan, and a little bit's based off the protection as well. So it's sort of a week-to-week thing.
Second row right, Tony from the O-Zone.
What kind of, test or what difficulties does Nebraska's their receivers pose for your secondary?
Well, they're explosive, and then you couple that with the quarterback's ability to extend plays. You really got to be locked in when the quarterback breaks contain and scramble pass and things like that. But those guys are explosive. They're the type of receivers that can take a short catch and hit you with a run after the catch. And obviously, they're fast enough to get down the field in a vertical passing game as well.
And then how do you, in the zone when they can see the quarterback, how do you keep them from looking at the quarterback too much or not enough? Like how do you teach that balance?
I think some of it depends on what coverages you're playing. When you're playing man, you want your eyes to be on your man. If you're playing zone, you can look the quarterback a little more. So we kind of dictate that by coverage.
My bad. Front row right, Bill from the Dispatch.
You've been around a little bit, coached different places. But is the culture about special teams different here? Just the importance of every coach says it's important. Is it different here though?
Been a number of places, and it's a little, how you look at it, maybe a little better, meaning a little more special teams emphasis. Some places that I've been than others, but no place has been like here. Yeah, definitely. Just again, the culture that's been, and I've seen it from the other side, watching them on tape. I mean, I've had to prepare against Ohio State as well on special teams, and it's makes for some long nights for you.
And when you've got guys like Chase Young and starters who are playing on special teams, and it's also the pathway for young players to get on the field, how competitive is it? How do you weigh, okay, we want Chase Young on special teams, obviously, but we want these young guys to be able to kind of make their mark a little bit. How do you weigh that?
Yeah, it's constant conversations. I mean, a lot of time spent just managing the depth charts, and okay, this guy's playing on block this week, and this guy's playing on kickoff return, and then he's probably going to play more defense, or he may be playing more offense this week. So it's just a constant conversation with the whole staff, and everyone's great about getting their guys on special teams, because again, that's what we expect here. Before you're going to play offense or defense, you're going to help out on teams. But it's just a constant, constant conversation. Since there's something you have to always be working through, making sure you're getting the right players in the right spot to be successful.
Far left, Lori from 610 WTVN.
You talked about using special teams as a chance to get players to earn playing time. But Chase is not earning playing time by taking his Jonathan Nudges, Salaves, and players like that. Do you feel like you like the balance of what you've done on special teams in terms of using it to build depth, giving it a chance to have players earn playing time that way, and using your best players?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just an ongoing battle. You're constantly trying to get it right. And if you look back at every field goal block, Chase Young hasn't been on every field goal block. Chris Olave hasn't been on every punt block. So you kind of pick and choose your situations there where you think you need them and where you think you have a chance. But you're not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and where there's a younger guy that you could potentially do a better job than an older guy, or maybe it's kind of apples apples to apples there, not necessarily one is better than the other. That's a great chance to give a younger guy an opportunity.
Of these younger guys that you have used in that way, are there any that are flashing and that you like and that might be building a foundation for themselves?
Yeah, there's several guys. To single one out would be tough, but there's several guys that have played well. Bryson Shaw made a big play for us, getting the Garrett Wilson's explosive return started. Obviously, Garrett Wilson had an explosive return. Jameson Williams has been playing really hard, and where we've been able to get him on the field. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but again, there's been at times many of the young guys have shown flashes of greatness.
Fourth row middle, Patrick from 247 Sports.
Coach, you talked about the challenge of facing this offense. You guys have been tested, but not probably to the level that Nebraska's going to test you. How up for it are these guys to finally really get a test and do it in front of a national audience and whatnot? How much excitement is there?
Well, we'll find out. Monday's our off day, so we really haven't had the boys in here yet this week. Sunday's more of a recap of the previous game. So we'll find out today. If I know our guys, which I think I do, I think they'll be excited to get started. I anticipate they'll be locked in for meetings, and I anticipate having a really good spirited practice today.
And in a similar vein, how ready do you feel that the defense is for the challenge that's ahead?
Well, we've got great players. I think we've got some veteran guys that have played a lot of football, and there's certainly no stranger to big games and playing on the road. But those things are easier said than done. So look for a great week of preparation and an exciting game Saturday night.
Front row right, Tim from Letterman Row.
Yeah, two quickies. Number one, Matt, what a great punt returner. What shows up about him almost immediately when you put him into a situation? I'm talking about specifically Garrett Wilson. What has flashed about him that has told you maybe he has a big future there?
Well, he's aggressive. He's going to go attack the ball. That's where it starts. At the end of the day, we want possession of the ball. We don't want to let that thing bounce and roll out on us. So we want to be aggressive and go get the ball, which he does attack the ball. And then, returner is one of those positions that the great ones, you don't have to coach too much. You kind of just coach them through the little details of, hey, when the ball does hit the ground, or maybe this is the attack point on this return, but the great ones really just kind of have the natural ability.
Another thing, there's no secret that Nebraska's having some trouble with its special teams, especially field goal kicking situations. As you look at that, when you judge a team, how does that play into how aggressive you might be on a Saturday night?
Well, watching the film, I think they're pretty good on special teams, and I know they've had a couple issues on their field goal team, but that's a great coaching staff, and they do an unbelievable job. So I look for them to make sure that they get that shored up, and we're just going to go play our game and be sound and take our chances when we can.
Front row left, Nathan from Cleveland.com.
What do you like about the rest of your depth and safety right now that you feel like you guys can absorb the loss of Isaiah Pryor right now?
We got some young guys that I think are extremely talented. And again, I could single guys out, but you guys know the depth chart as well as I do. So going back through the spring and then even into summer camp, and then just knowing what some of our guys that really haven't had as many opportunities are capable of when they have had those opportunities, and feel good about our depth.
And right next door, Doug from Cleveland.com.
The ability, you guys have obviously succeeded with the zone looks you've played this year, but the ability that you have to put your corners in man when you want to, what does that do to an opposing offense when you seem to have a secondary that's comfortable in a variety of different looks?
Yeah, I think anytime that you can, you feel comfortable putting your corners out on an island, that helps you a lot more inside rather than having to give help to everybody everywhere. If you feel like you can put a guy at times in the right situation, if you can put a guy on an island, helps you buy another hat back into the run game or maybe protect another area of the field in the pass game. So it's certainly a luxury when you have guys that can go outside and win their one-on-one.
And right behind him, last questions, Bill from The Athletic.
Matt, just curious if you guys talk about this. Do you know the last time Ohio State returned a kickoff for a touchdown?
A kickoff for a touchdown. I know, I want to say maybe that was 2010 or 2011, and I think a punt return for a touchdown was maybe 2014, something like that.
Yeah, it was 2010, yeah. For the kickoff. How much does that talk about? I know it's not an easy thing to do, but it seems like an awfully long time for a team that has this kind of talent to go with that one. And do you view DeMario as a guy who might be able to get you there? It looks like he's been a shoelace away from breaking one or two already.
Yes, yeah, and again, I've been on the wrong end of that one before. He almost broke one last year. I was at another school and set Ohio State up with great field position. So he's explosive. We're just we're trying to give him the best look that we can. And You know, the other thing with that is the rules have changed so much on kickoff now and for safety of the game, so you understand it. But, you know, you have to be smart about when you want a fair catch and not always bringing a return out of the end zone. So again, it's really about hitting the right pitches and not swinging at every pitch.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Matt.